Hey fifth grade families, this is Miss McBroom, and in this video I am going to be covering some strategies that your students can use to divide larger numbers. I'm going to go through two different division strategies, and I'm going to go through two different equations, one equation that will have no remainder and one equation that will have a remainder. And again, like I said in my subtraction video, whatever strategy works best for your students to divide is fine by me. So the very first equation we are going to be working to solve is 156 divided by 12, okay? And the first way I'm going to show you is a division strategy. It's kind of our standard algorithm for division. It's probably something that you have seen before. It's what I used growing up to divide. And if it works for your student, that is fantastic and wonderful, and they should use it. But like I said, I'm also going to show one other strategy that is a little bit more easier to digest. So to do this strategy, the standard division strategy, we're going to set up our equation to look like this. 156 divided by 12. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the value 12 and I'm going to see where it fits in my numbers as I go along my place values. So the first thing I'm going to look at is, does 12 fit inside of 1? And the answer is no. 12 does not fit inside of 1. So I'm going to place a 0 above my 1. Now I'm asking myself, does 12 fit inside the number 15? And the answer is yes, 12 can fit inside the number 15. But the number that I put up here is how many times can 12 fit inside of 15? And the answer to that is just once. 12 only fits inside of 15 one time. And I'm going to put 12 below this 15 and subtract it. 15 minus 12 is 3, okay? So far we figured out that 12 does not fit into 1, so I have a 0. 12 does fit into 15, fits into 15 one time, and when I take away 12 from 15, I'm left with 3. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down my next place value. I'm going to bring this 6 down next to my 3, making 36. Now I'm asking myself, does 12 fit inside of 36? And if so, how many times does 12 fit inside of 36? And the answer is yes, 12 does fit inside of 36, and it fits inside of 36 perfectly 3 times. If I add 12 plus 12 plus 12, I'll get 36. 12 plus 12 is 24. That's 2 12s. If I add one more group of 12 to 24, that's 36. 3 12s. So because 12 fits into 36 3 times, I'm going to write a 3 right here. And I know that 12 times 3 is 36. And I'm going to subtract. And I'm left with 0, which means there is no remainder in this division equation. So 156 divided by 12 is 13. And you can always check your work or have your students check their work by doing 12 times 13. And if their answer is 156, they know that they did it right. Now, I'm going to show you the second way that your students can do 156 divided by 12, if that is a little bit too much or a little bit too challenging. So we call this the area model for division. And what I'm doing, instead of phrasing the question 156 divided by 12, I'm asking myself what number times 12 gives me 156. And I'm going to do that by breaking this problem up into partial products. So I'm going to set up this rectangle right here. And I'm going to ask myself, what times 12 equals 156? Now, I don't know right away what times 12 equals 156, and I'm sure your students don't either. So we're going to break this up into partial products. What is something I can multiply 12 by that is a larger number that is going to be able to be taken away from 156? So bear with me here. I always encourage my students to start with a friendly number because they are the easiest to multiply by. So 12 times 10. If I have 10 groups of 12, that equals 120. Okay, so I have decided that I am going to start with 10 groups of 12, which is 120. And I'm going to take this partial product, which is a piece of the product that I am aiming to create, the 156, and I'm going to subtract the 2 to know how much of the product I am still looking for. So if I do 156 minus 120, my answer is 36. Okay, so I am now asking myself what times 12 equals 36, because that's all that I have left to solve as far as figuring out what times 12 equals 156. I just have 36 left because I already figured out that 10 groups of 12 gets me 120, but I'm trying to get to 156. So I would ask myself what times 12 equals 36. As we covered in the last strategy, we know that 12 times 3 is 36. And your students could figure this out by counting by 12s, or they could go 12 by 12 by 12, which they don't need to do. They could add 12 a couple of times and figure out that 12 times 3 is 36. So I'm going to put a 3 right here. I know that 12 times 3 is 36. And I'm going to subtract my last partial product from what I had left over from my other partial product, and I have a 0, which of course again means that I have no remainder. So in order to find out my answer using these partial products, I have to combine these two values. So I'm going to add them together, which gives me a total of 13. 12 times 13 is what is 156. So 156 divided by 12 is 13, and that's how we figured it out the last time. That was the correct answer. So that is 2 different ways that you can divide, and like I said, those are division problems that have no remainder. Now your students are going to see some division problems on the upcoming test that have a remainder. So let's go through what that looks like. The new equation that we are working with is 197 divided by 9. So again, I'm going back to that standard strategy now, the standard division strategy. So I'm doing 197 divided by 9. And I'm going to do exactly like I did before. I'm going to start just by looking at this 1. Does 9 fit inside of 1? And if so, how many times? 9 does not fit inside of 1, so I'm going to put a 0 above my 1. And I'm going to move to my next value, 19. Does 9 fit inside of 19? And if so, how many times? And the answer, of course, is yes. 9 does fit inside of 19. And it can actually fit inside of 19 twice, because 9 plus 9 is 18. If I added one more group of 9, it would not fit inside of 19. So 9 times 2 is 18, and I'm going to put that below the 19 and subtract. 19 minus 18 is 1, okay? So now I take this 7 and I drop it down next to my 1. And now my question is, does 9 fit inside of 17? And if so, how many times? 9 does fit inside of 17, but it only fits inside of 17 one time, because as we established before, 9 2 times is 18, and that's too much. 18 doesn't fit inside of 17. So only one group of 9 fits inside of 17. 1 times 9 is 9, so I'm going to subtract 9 from 17. And 17 minus 9 is 6. 9 does not fit inside of 6. So I'm done here. 6 is my remainder. So my answer is 21 with a remainder of 6. So 9 can fit inside of 197 21 times with 6 left over. It can only fit inside of 197 21 times perfectly, and it will have a remainder of 6. So that would be your answer for this question with a remainder. And again, I'm going to show us how to do that one more time with the partial products strategy. So 197 divided by 9. I'm going to rephrase to be 9 times what number would give me 197? What times 9 is 197? And I'm going to set up my rectangle again so that I can solve my partial products. I'm going to put my 9 here, And I'm asking myself, what times 9 gets me closer to 197? And like I said last time, I like to always start with a friendly number. That's a 10, because it's easiest for our students to multiply and figure out. 9 times 10 is 90. That's my first partial product, and I'm going to take that away from 197. So I know how much more of the product I am still looking for. 7 minus 0 is 7. 9 minus 9 is 0. I bring down my 1, 107. So now I'm asking myself, what can I multiply by 9 to get me closer to 107? So what I'm going to do again is another friendly number. I'm going to multiply 9 by 10 again, because I know that 90 can fit inside of 107, and it's easy for me to multiply. So again, I'm going to have another 90, another group of 10 9s, and I'm going to subtract this 90 from what I have left of my product. So 107 minus 90. 7 minus 0 is 7. I can't do 0 minus 9, so I'm going to borrow. I have 10 minus 9, which is 1. So I'm left with 17. So I'm asking myself, how many times can 9 fit inside of 17? The exact same thing we were asking ourselves towards the end of our last strategy for dividing this value. So I know that I can only fit 9 into 17 one time. And I'm going to put that right here. 9 times 1 is 9. And I'm going to subtract 9 from my 17, leaving me with an answer of 6. There's nothing that I can multiply, or I'm sorry, there's no way that I can get 9 to fit inside of 6. It's just not big enough. So that means that my remainder is 6. And in order to find out what I multiplied to get me to this, I have to add up these partial products. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 1 more is 21. So my answer is 21, remainder 6. 21, remainder 6. I hope you find this helpful. Again, please do reach out to me if this is confusing for you, if you would like to see this done in a different way. I appreciate those of you who are watching these videos and trying to help your students learn more at home. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.